Hello everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. Now I'm back today with the BB Cameron's mini musical instruments, and we're going to be working on the horns today. And we're also going to bring in the microphone. I haven't used the microphone, so I thought I'd bring it in. We're also going to bring in the musical notes and staves set. We're going to bring in the sentiment set that goes with this, and we're going to bring in the 3D embossing folder. And I've also got my scalloped and stitched edge oval dies from Spellbinders. So that is what we're going to be working with today. I'll link it all in the box below so that you can shop if you'd like. And we're just going to get to making a card with our horns. So we've made our majestic guitar box, we've made our mini guitar, we have made our keyboard, we have made our violin, and now we are making our horns. And we're going to bring in the microphone as well. So I have chosen just to use some black cardstock and to 3D emboss the musical note 3D folder on it, and we're going to get it laid down on a card base. We are going to bring in the musical notes and staves, and we're going to create just a little scene on this white panel here. Now before we get started, I'm going to stamp my sentiment on here so that I'll have it done and I won't have to worry about messing up a finished card. So I'm going to get it laid down on my MISTI, try and get it down straight, and I'm going to struggle with getting it laid down straight and then getting the stamps laid down straight. But I'm going to choose This Note Is For You, You Rock. And I'm going to use it for the horns. The gal that plays the horns a lot of times will say, you rock. So I'm going to use that for my sentiment because she rocks. She is absolutely probably the best musician we have on the team. Anyway, so I'll get this laid down. And this is where I'm struggling. They're wanting to stick to my fingers, and I thought I had it laid down straight. And then when I looked at the grid lines on the MISTI, it looks like they're completely not straight. So I'm going to line them up straight on the grid lines, and then I'm going to double check my oval die there to see if I've got it straight, and then I'm just going to check it a couple times, rearrange it, see if I can make it look right, and then we'll get it laid down on here. Not sure if I got it exactly right, but it doesn't matter because we're going to put a lot of embellishments and stuff around it. So I'm just using my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I'll need to give it some time to dry, and then we will be able to work with that. So I'll get my MISTI put up, get those stamps cleaned up and put away, and then we'll get going on our card. I'm also checking the fingers to make sure I don't have any black ink on there and getting them cleaned up. So we've got this oval panel that's really pretty, and we're going to lay the stitched white panel on top of it. We're just going to layer this up. We're going to have a red, white, and black card. I love making red, white, and black cards. I just like those three colors together. I think they pop and really look nice. We are going to bring in gold because we've got some matte gold horns, and we're going to use some glitter gold as well to decorate. So here's my little tray, and I've got all my instruments in that I've been working out of. I had die cut all them out in a single setting one night, and so I've got all the bits in there, and I've just been working through them. I have been adding some notes and staves and treble clefs and stuff like that to the bowl as I've run out of them. And I'm going to lay a note down next to This Note Is For You. I think that makes for fun, and we're going to start layering up our elements to our card. So we've got to get the glue on all the thin strips here, and then we'll get it laid down, and we'll actually cut it off. I'm actually going to lay it down on here and cut it off before we put it on our black panel, just to make it easier to cut off. Sometimes I get ahead of myself, and then I have to kind of sneak the scissors in there and try and trim it without making a mess. And since I'm laying it on the scalloped panel, I want to really be able to get in there and kind of clip around the little scalloped edges. So I'm just going to get some tiny little scissors and just snip and try to follow the scalloped pattern on there. And I think it'll look cute. And just give them a little pinch, lay that aside. I think this is when I decide to get my little note laid next to my sentiment that says, This Note Is For You, You Rock. And we'll just tuck it in there and just fill in some white space. And then we'll get our treble clef, we'll get it laid down on our stanza. And I've got the sharp laying there off to the side. I'm going to use the sharp and lay it down on there. And there we go. Now I think I'm going to bring in a couple of notes and lay them down just so that we have some fun elements. And we've probably got plenty on here because we are going to lay the 2 horns down. And I will cover up quite a bit of this, but just trying to get just a variety of elements laying down on the card. And I think this is actually going to finish up our series. I do have a playlist that I will link above that you can check out all of the instruments, all the makes that I made with this collection from B.B. Cameron, and you can check them all out if you haven't caught them. I think they're super fun. Really enjoyed working with them. Now I'm showing you I had it in matte brass and a shiny brass, or matte gold and I guess shiny gold. And I decided to use the matte. I liked it better. But I'm going to bring in some glitter cardstock for the decorative elements and just add some sparkle to those elements there. So you've got some decorative on the horn there. I'm not sure what that is. And then you're on the mouthpiece, and then up the, I don't know, the tube. I'm not familiar with the parts of the horns, so the trumpet or the saxophone, so I'm not familiar with the names of them, but I'm just going to get all these pieces laid down on there. On the trumpet, we'll have some keys that we'll lay down on there. But we've got, I guess maybe, I don't know, these are probably keys on the saxophone as well. Anyway, I realized that I only had 1 or 2 of the notes, and I'm going to have to go back in and grab that for the trumpet and die cut out some more in glitter. So I'm going to, I'll have to dig that out. I've laid that die out so that I can grab it. Right now I'm going to lay the mouthpiece. There's a specific term for that, and I can't think of what it is. I'm used to hearing it said, and I can't think at the moment. But anyway, we'll get it laid down on there. I'm going to grab some glitter cardstock, and we're going to take this die and go die cut this piece out, and we'll be right back. That piece may be called a reed. I'm not certain, but it might be. Anyway, so I've got this these keys die cut out, and so we'll be able to add them to the trumpet for the extra glitter and shine that we've got on there. And I only need 3 of them. I think this die cuts out 4 or 5 of them, but I only need 3, so I'll get those laid down on there, and we'll have some shine on our keys. And I don't know, they may not even be called keys for all I know. Anyway, I'm going to get these down here. I got some glue on here, and I'm going to realize that I need to pick up my tweezers and put some glue on the back of this glitter cardstock because I cannot get it to stick. You know how hard it is when you're working with metallic. Sometimes it's hard to get it to take hold and not move around. So I'm just going to put some glue right here on the back part of this glitter paper, which is kind of a, it's white, and it's a little bit more sticky than laying the glue on the metallic, and I think I'll get it laid down okay on here like that. So we'll just do that real quick, and we'll have those 3 done. And this has been a really fun series. I've enjoyed working with this. When Spellbinder sent me the list and asked if I wanted to work with them, I'm like, yes, please. I definitely want to work with musical instruments. So I was thrilled to get the whole collection and be able to work with them. And it's just right up my alley. So I was thrilled to get to do that. So there we go. We're just going to take the tips of the tweezers and just kind of clean up some glue there, and then we're going to try and figure out how to lay them down on here. And I do struggle a little bit with trying to figure out how to lay them on here, and I wind up settling for just kind of crossing it over each other. But we'll go ahead and get our panel laid down on here. I am going to pop it up just for a little extra dimension because, you know, I do like the dimension. And we'll put 3 strips of foam tape on here, and then we'll get it laid down on our card. So I'm still, you're going to watch this. I'm going to probably be on vacation by the time you're watching this because I am loading my channel ahead of time, and this will fall either sometime while on vacation or sometime after vacation, just depending on how everything loads up. I have done several videos and I'm loading it to my channel well in advance. So it's possible I could be on a beach somewhere. Anyway, so I start up high and then I wind up bringing them down low, and I kind of wish that I had left them like this. I kind of like the way this looks, but hindsight's 20/20, and I'll just keep fooling with them, and eventually I'll get them laid down. And I kind of put them in the lower left-hand corner as opposed to up high. I'm knowing that I want to add my microphone to it, and that's what kind of prompts me to go a little bit lower and to leave some white space on the upper right-hand side so that I'll have some room for my microphone. So I'm just going to grab my tweezers and pick them up and lay them down one more time, and eventually we'll figure out where we're going. And this is kind of how I land, only I go a little bit lower when I lay it down with the glue. I'm just thinking I need room for that microphone above there, and so I'm just going to leave some space for it and kind of let it hang off into the black. I think the gold doesn't look too bad hanging off on that black. It kind of pops off of there. And then we'll get our saxophone laid down over that. We'll just kind of crisscross them a little bit. And now I've got my microphone, and I originally die cut it out in silver thinking, oh, I'll do silver, because a lot of times you'll see a microphone with black and silver on it. But then I thought, I've got this gold card going on. So I'm going to bring in the decorative piece for the microphone, and I'm going to die cut it out. It actually has two pieces. It has kind of the microphone piece, and then there's a tiny, tiny little, it's almost like a button or a screw that goes on there. And so it's just the teeniest of tiniest. And I just put a little dot of glue on there and had to flip it over to where I had it right side up and then give it a press and then clean the glue up because it's just such a small piece. But I didn't want to leave the silver on there because we went with gold on this card, and then we'll get our microphone adorned, and then we will be ready to get it laid down on our card base. Now on this particular day, I did a couple other videos as well, and one of which I did a craft room video in which I keep rearranging my craft room, and I swear, I think I try to make it better, and I think I make it worse. And so I did a video, which it's likely already aired with the craft room tour. I have a playlist for it, so you can check it out, but where I've asked the viewers to vote which style did they like best, and I kind of took some snippets from past craft room videos and included some pictures in there and had people vote. So if you haven't checked that out, you might check that video as well out. In my quest to reorganize and make things streamlined, I feel like it's less cozy than what it was. So anyway, so I've got some of these Spellbinders enamel dots in black, and I'm just going to lay one down there and two at the bottom and just kind of fill in some of that white space, and we'll have a little bit of embellishment, and I think we've got a fun card, another fun musical instrument card. And I will include this in the playlist for the other musical instruments, and you can check all of the videos out there. So here we go. Here's our finished card. I think it turned out nice. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.